You gotta stick through the hard things in life. You can't run away from problems. They'll come back to you.
Fifth-round picks aren't supposed to change the game. They're supposed to be mediocre. But Puka Nacua never got that memo.
Puka Nacua, one of the great rookie seasons by a receiver in NFL history. He's got the catch record and the yards record.
In his very first season, Puka didn't just prove people wrong. He rewrote the entire rookie record book. 105 catches, nearly 1,500 yards, records that stood for decades, gone. The league had never seen anything like it.
Up, floats one. Nacua!
He's the kind of guy who becomes your favorite player's favorite player.
Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua.
Puka.
Puka. Puka Puka Puka.
Him being my guy, he's incredible.
I'm definitely a fan.
But his story is bigger than football. At just 11 years old, Puka lost his father, the man who coached him, trained him, and dreamed of seeing his sons in the NFL.
Puka's father was the inspiration behind his passion.
Is he the reason that you love football?
100%.
That heartbreak could have broken him. Instead, it became the fire that pushed him to chase the dream for both of them. With every catch, every yard, every touchdown, he carried his father's vision forward.
The national anthem is like kind of a quiet moment in the stadium, and I feel like I'm able to calm myself and to enter a stage of being able to hear my father speak to me and enjoy his presence right before I get to play.
This isn't just the story of a rookie breakout. This is the rise of a player who turned grief into greatness. And before the records, before the spotlight, we need to rewind to where it all began, back to the roots of Puka Nacua's journey. For Puka Nacua, football wasn't just something he played, it was part of who he was. Born into a proud Samoan household in Provo, Utah, Puka was the youngest of 6, constantly battling with his 4 older brothers in the backyard. Those scrappy games weren't just for fun, they forged toughness, competitiveness, and a love for the sport that would never fade. At the center of it all was his father, Lionel. He wasn't just a dad, he was the trainer, the motivator, the man with a vision that his boys would one day make it to the NFL. Every sprint, every drill, every ounce of discipline was tied to that dream.
My dad was a wrestler, so like the old school, like tough football was like something he wanted to like instill into us. Walter Payton, Lawrence Taylor, was just like a toughness and like a will to let nobody stop you.
But just before Puka's 11th birthday, everything changed. Sadly, his father passed away from complications with diabetes, and for a young boy, that heartbreak could have ended everything. Instead, it became the greatest obstacle Puka would ever face. His mother, Puka Nacua, stepped up, raising 6 kids alone while carrying her husband's dream forward. She became the rock, the one who kept football alive in their family.
Puka Nacua cultivated the seed planted by her husband, and Puka developed into one of the greatest athletes ever produced by the state of Utah.
And with 2 older brothers, Puka Nacua, who made it as a safety in the NFL, and Samson Nacua, who fought his way into pro ball, Puka could see the path. He didn't just learn the game from them, he lived it alongside them. Long before anyone scouted his tape, he was out there running drills with Kai and Samson, absorbing the habits of elite athletes in their own backyard. Their pursuit of the pros didn't just set the blueprint, it made it feel possible.
All of us are in the backyard. Dad was in the back, we're doing Oklahoma drills in the dirt.
Football wasn't just the Nacua brothers' escape. It was their way of honoring their father's vision and carrying the Nacua name further than anyone thought possible. And that determination led Puka to the next chapter of his journey. High school and college football, where the boys shaped in backyard battles and family heartbreak began proving he could shine on a national stage.
One of the most highly recruited high school athletes in the state, Puka Nacua, had a monster season. 87 catches, 1,691 yards receiving, and a state best 24 touchdowns.
It's absolutely crazy. This is a dream come true, I think, for every high school athlete to win a state championship. This is the greatest feeling.
By the time Puka Nacua graduated from Orem High School in Utah, he was already a legend. He wasn't just good, he was unstoppable. Over his career, he racked up more than 5,200 receiving yards and 58 touchdowns, shattering state records and cementing himself as the most productive wide receiver in Utah high school history.
You gotta stick through the hard things in life. You can't run away from problems, they'll come back to you.
Recruiting services ranked him as a 4-star prospect and one of the top pass catchers in the entire West. Every major program came calling, but it was the University of Washington that landed his commitment, giving him the chance to test himself on a Pac-12 stage filled with NFL-caliber competition.
I will be attending the University of Washington.
Gonna be a Husky!
Let's go!
When Puka Nacua first stepped onto the field at the University of Washington, It was clear he had the talent to shine on a big stage.
It was well done, and now he's into the end zone for Puka Nacua, touchdown!
Even as a freshman, before injuries cut his season short, he flashed big play ability with nearly 170 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in limited action. His sophomore year was disrupted by COVID-19, but again, whenever he touched the ball, it was electric. Still, something pulled him away from the Pac-12 spotlight. Family had always been at the heart of his journey, and when his grandmother's health declined, Puka made the decision to transfer to BYU to be closer to her. Puka didn't make the move to BYU alone. His older brother, Samson Nacua, transferred with him. Both brothers wanted to be closer to their grandmother as her health declined, a decision rooted in family before football, and together they carried the Nacua name onto the field at BYU.
Coming back to be home with family, for sure. Grandma was sick. Mom was going through a lot trying to help Grandma, and me and Puka were talking while we were out there. It was like, dang, bro, we haven't played with each other in a long time, like since Pee Wee football, and it was perfect timing for everything.
At BYU, everything clicked. In 2021, he exploded for over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns, becoming one of the Cougars' most dangerous weapons. But it was 2022 when he etched his name into college football lore. Against Arkansas, he torched the defense for 141 yards and a touchdown through the air, while adding 2 more scores on the ground.
That's Nacua on the jet sweep, and Nacua's in for the touchdown.
Just a week later, he delivered one of the greatest games in BYU history against Boise State, hauling in 14 catches for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a game-winning grab on 4th and goal.
Up into the end zone! He holds on!
By the end of his college career, Puka had totaled more than 1,700 yards and 14 touchdowns, proving he could dominate against anyone. And yet, because he played at BYU instead of a national powerhouse, scouts looked the other way. That's why when the NFL draft arrived, his name slid further than his talent ever should have allowed.
I think this guy would be really good for us, Les.
You got a vision for him.
Totally.
We're gonna nail that pick.
They indeed nailed that pick. When draft weekend arrived in 2023, Puka Nacua knew he wasn't going to hear his name in the first round, but he didn't expect to sit in silence for so long either. Wide receivers flew off the board one after another, 20 in total, before he even got a look. Some of those names belonged to players he had outperformed in college, players without his versatility or toughness, yet they were celebrated while Puka remained overlooked. The phone calls he thought would come never did.
Cincinnati had called me too. I had done some pre-draft interviews with them. The Seahawks had called me like, hey, we got some picks early, like make sure you're watching. And I'm like, oh, I trust me, I've been watching the whole time.
Teams that had once told him to keep his phone close, promising they'd be in touch, passed him by without hesitation. For every pick announced, the weight of disappointment grew heavier. By the time the 5th round rolled around, he was sitting with his family in Utah, trying to hide his frustration, wondering if the dream might slip away before it ever began. Then came a call from Thousand Oaks, California. On the line was the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, here's what I want to say. What if we draft you with the 43rd pick here in the 5th round?
They wanted him at pick 177. To analysts, it was nothing more than a low-risk flyer, a depth piece to fill out the roster. But to Puka, it was validation. The moment he had waited for his entire life was finally here.
That make your day a little better?
That would make my day great. That would be amazing.
The critics saw a sleeper. Puka saw an opportunity. And deep down, he knew the league had just made a massive mistake by letting him fall that far.
What's up, Rams fans? Puka Nacua here with my family. Who's us? Rams!
For most 5th round picks, the story ends with fighting for a roster spot, clinging to special teams, or fading out of the league before anyone even notices. But Puka Nacua's rookie season was the complete opposite.
We had a vision for him. We thought he would really make an impact.
From the moment he stepped on the field, he announced himself as a star.
I think the name to watch is Puka Nacua.
Say it again.
Puka Nacua. BYU. 17th overall pick, wide receiver out of BYU.
In his very first game against the Seattle Seahawks, he hauled in 10 catches for 119 yards. The best debut by a Rams receiver in decades.
Yo, Puka Nacua here, still out in Lumen Field, where the Rams just got to go with the boys. Whose house? Rams house, baby, let's go.
The next week, against the San Francisco 49ers elite defense, he erupted for 15 catches and 147 yards, breaking the NFL record for receptions in a player's first 2 games.
There's that quick hit and run, that completion, and there's Puka Nacua with the catch. No one has had more catches in the first 2 games of their NFL career than Puka Nacua.
Overnight, the sleeper pick had turned into the league's biggest surprise. But it wasn't just the volume of catches, it was the moments. In Week 4, he sealed an overtime win against the Indianapolis Colts with a game-winning touchdown, his first in the NFL.
It doesn't sound like real, like, oh, your first NFL touchdown was a game-winner walk-off in OT.
Kua in overtime!
Against the Steelers later in the season, he torched their secondary for 154 yards and a touchdown, including a jaw-dropping sideline grab that left even defenders shaking their heads.
Oh, how he got his feet down, because here comes 39, Minkah Fitzpatrick. I thought he was going to knock him out of bounds.
Week after week, he became Matthew Stafford's most trusted target, making contested catches over Pro Bowl cornerbacks and turning routine plays into highlights. By the time the season ended, Puka had shattered every rookie receiving record: 105 catches, 1,486 yards, and a reputation as the toughest receiver to guard in football. The same player who was the 20th wideout taken in the draft had outproduced nearly all of them. He didn't just look like a rookie who got hot. He looked like a superstar built to last.
Puka Nacua has just become the all-time NFL rookie record holder.
But as incredible as that rookie season was, when it came time for the NFL to hand out awards, Puka's historic run was met with something that left fans outraged.
I just want to say that the Offensive Rookie of the Year was a rob job, too.
Despite breaking every rookie receiving record the NFL had, Puka Nacua was denied the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Instead, the honor went to quarterback C.J. Stroud, a great player, but not the one who rewrote the history books. For many fans, it felt all too familiar. Year after year, the league leans toward quarterbacks, no matter what other positions accomplish. Puka's snub wasn't just controversial, it was proof that even a record-shattering season from a wide receiver isn't always enough when stacked against the league's most protected position.
I think Puka Nacua should have won it.
Over CJ?
Hell yeah.
Well, let's be honest, we all know that's a quarterback award, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's still stupid.
After a record-shattering rookie campaign, expectations for Puka Nacua's second season were sky high, but the NFL rarely gives young stars an easy path. Early in year 2, injuries crept in, nagging issues that sidelined him for several games and tested his durability.
Visibly upset on the sidelines, and you can see him there. He was carted into the locker room.
For many players, that sophomore slump would have been enough to derail the momentum, but every time Puka stepped back on the field, he reminded the league that his rookie year wasn't a fluke. Even while battling injuries, he produced highlight after highlight. There were circus catches where he twisted his body in midair, toe-tap grabs along the sideline that looked impossible, and clutch receptions in traffic where defenders draped all over him.
Stafford takes the shoulders, takes a shot downfield. It is caught by Nacua!
In one game, despite being less than 100%, he hauled in a contested deep ball between 2 defenders, leaving the crowd stunned. In another, he broke free late in the fourth quarter to set up a game-winning drive, proving that even limited snaps couldn't contain his impact. He didn't have the full healthy season fans hoped for, but when he played, he was electric. His toughness and consistency showed that he wasn't just a rookie sensation riding momentum. He was a legitimate star, capable of fighting through adversity and still delivering when his team needed him most. And that resilience didn't go unnoticed. Despite the injuries, the league itself took note of Puka's impact, giving him recognition that few players in just their second year ever achieved.
Just his ability to catch the ball. That's our main job, is to catch the ball.
The NFL is full of talent. Every year, hundreds of players suit up, but only the elite earn the respect of their peers. That's why when the league released its annual Top 100 list, the football world took notice. Puka Nacua had been voted the 41st best player in the entire NFL. Think about that. In just 2 seasons, one of them hampered by injuries, he had already climbed into the league's top tier.
And I feel like I was in great position, but the ball was in a great spot.
This wasn't just fans hyping a young star. This was recognition from the players themselves, the very defenders who had lined up across from him and felt the frustration of trying to stop him. Being ranked 41st wasn't simply about numbers, it was about impact. It was about the way he could change a game with a single catch, the way he turned broken plays into highlights, and the way he carried himself like a veteran even as one of the youngest stars in the league. For a 5th-round pick once dismissed as a sleeper, it was validation that he had arrived. He was no longer the underdog chasing respect. He was part of the NFL's elite.
Give me that!
But as big as that honor was, Puka's journey is still just getting started, because next season he won't be lining up alone. He'll have one of the greatest receivers of this era lining up beside him, and together they could form a nightmare duo for every defense in football.
Davante Adams and the Los Angeles Rams have agreed to a 2-year contract.
Heading into the new season, the Rams pulled off a blockbuster move that sent shockwaves across the league. They brought in Davante Adams, one of the greatest wide receivers of his generation. For years, Adams has been the gold standard. Precise routes, elite hands, unstoppable in one-on-one matchups. And now, defenses will have to deal with him and Puka lining up together.
And I got a lot of respect for his game, his approach. I mean, it's exactly what a young guy in this league, should attack with a veteran coming in that has a lot of experience and knowledge. And it just makes it more fun for me than, on my side, and easier for me to share the secrets and the different tools and small nuances that go into wide receiver play. And he's eager to learn, which also makes it fun.
For cornerbacks, it's a nightmare scenario. For Matthew Stafford, it's like having 2 number ones, one option on every snap. For defensive coordinators, it's sleepless nights and broken game plans.
Ooh, I think the classic saying is, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
For Rams fans, having a superstar like Puka Nacua is everything you could have hoped for. But his rise didn't happen alone. It began with his father's dream and was carried forward by his mother's relentless sacrifice. Without them, there is no record-breaking rookie, no jaw-dropping catches, no touchdowns that electrify the stadium. So the next time you see Puka on the field, remember, the brilliance you're watching is built on the hardships, love, and resilience of a family that refused to let the dream die. From backyard battles to breaking rookie records, from being snubbed for awards to proving himself against every obstacle, he's already carved out one of the most inspiring stories in football. But with Adams by his side, the ceiling just got higher. This isn't the end of the Puka Nacua story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, and if his past is any indication, the NFL hasn't seen anything yet. So what do you think? Will Puka and Davante Adams form the most dangerous receiving duo in the NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the players changing the game.